The 2023 Sunday Primer is a fairly popular bike in Sunday's 2023 lineup. It sits at the bottom in terms of quality for most BMX bikes that are available right now. It's not a really high quality bike, and it's designed for brand new riders to get on something with pro level geometry without the high price tag. So if you wanted a bike similar to the Primer with really high quality stuff, it's gonna cost you like $1,300. The Primer is significantly cheaper, but the quality is obviously cheaper. That's just how these things go. In this video, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the Sunday Primer, and I'm gonna help you decide if you should spend your hard-earned money on this bike, or maybe suggest some alternative options. I don't want you to get a bad bike. I don't want you wasting your money. I want you to get into the sport with a perfect bike, and I want you to love the sport. Okay, that's the goal here. Let's get right into the video. So the Sunday Primer weighs 25.8 pounds. This is a fairly lightweight, and most BMX bikes that you see that are complete bikes aren't gonna weigh less than 27 pounds. So this is a pretty light bike. It's gonna cost you $439. Everything on the bike is fully upgradable and fully customizable. However, there are a few unsealed bearings throughout the bike that we'll talk about later that may hinder your ability to upgrade. Loose ball bearings get all over the place when you take it apart, and it's just a big headache. So there's some things you need to consider when you're making these upgrades, but for the most part, it's fully upgradable. The Primer does not come with any pegs or any hub guards. If you decide that you want to grind, you're gonna have to buy those separately. It's gonna set you back maybe 40 bucks, about 40 bucks. There are 4 size options and 4 color options available in the Primer. It's important to know that each color option is tied to a size option. So if you want a 21-inch bike in purple, it's not possible. You can only get that one in black. These are the size and color options. You've got a 20.00-inch top tube in gloss orange soda color, 20.5-inch surf blue, 20.75-inch matte grape soda, and 21-inch black. Those are gonna be your 4 options. Now, I wanna jump in real quick and urge you, please, 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 please do not buy this bike just because of the color. It is way more important to buy the bike based off of your size. You can paint the bike, you can change the color later, you can buy different parts, but get the right size. This is one of the most common mistakes that new riders make. They buy their bike and then they ride it and they're like, man, BMX is hard. BMX is hard, but it's twice as hard when you're on a bike that doesn't fit you properly. So check out and make sure you're getting the right size. Here's who these sizes are for. So the 20.00-inch top tube is best for riders who are between 5 foot and 5'3". The 20.5-inch top tube is best for riders between 5'6" and 5'9". The 20.75-inch top tube is best for riders between 5'9" and 6 foot. And the 21-inch option is best for riders who are over 6 foot. If you're over like 6'4", you're gonna wanna get something like a 21.25. But if you're in between 6 foot, 6'4", I'd go with the 21. This is just a general rule of thumb and a general guide to follow when you're buying a bike and when you're getting into the sport. It's not something that's set in stone, but for a brand new rider, it's important to have a base point and a reference point when getting into the sport. So follow this size guide if you're brand new to the sport. If you've ridden multiple bikes and like you know what you want, obviously you don't have to listen to that. But if you're brand new, please do me a favor and follow it. So for the geometry of the frame, this bike has a 75-degree head tube angle. It has an 8.75-inch standover height. The chainstay length is between 13.2 and 13.5 inches, and the bottom bracket height is 11.5 inches. For the most part, everything on this bike is standard. So a couple important things to point out about that geometry. The 8.75-inch standover height is lower than average, and for someone who's on the 20-inch orange color option, this is gonna feel fine. For someone who's on the 21-inch black option, this standover height might be a little bit too small for you, and it's probably gonna be uncomfortable. Same thing's going with the chainstay length. 13.2 to 13.5 inch chainstay length is long compared to other bikes. And this isn't the end of the world. That chainstay length is going to feel great for someone who's over 6 foot riding the 21-inch option. But for a rider who's 5 foot to 5'3", riding the 20.00-inch option, that long chainstay is going to be very hard to pick up into manuals, do bunny hops, maneuver, just in general. It's going to cause some frustrations for a smaller rider. The handlebars are 9 inches tall and 28.5 inches wide. I think this is a good height and width for handlebars, especially for people who are newer to the sport and don't really know what size they like. When it comes to quality, there's not much to talk about. The frame is fully high tensile steel. The bars are full high tensile steel. The forks are high tensile steel forks. The cranks are 8-spline 3-piece chromoly cranks, and the rims are single wall rims. For a brand new rider who doesn't weigh very much, high tensile steel is going to be fine. Everyone talks bad about it and it's not very good quality, but if you don't weigh very much, you're going to be fine. For someone who weighs over like 130 pounds and you're doing tricks, you're doing bunny hops, you're jumping down stair sets, you want something better than high tensile steel, and this bike is not going to be it for you. I'll go a little bit more in depth about who's it right for and who's it wrong for later, but I just wanted to throw that out there. When it comes to the quality, this bike is a low quality bike and it's important to know that. However, it does come with the Sunday Freeze top load stem. This is one of my favorite stems of all times, but I was very disappointed to see that it came with Wellgo platform pedals. These are the cheapest, worst pedals that have ever been made. And it's just a standard thing that you see on low quality Walmart bikes and just really low quality bikes in general. You see Wellgo platform pedals. They're terrible, they're trash, and it's like kind of sad that Sunday threw those on there. If you do end up with this bike, I would definitely upgrade the unsealed bearings, I would upgrade the tires, and then I would upgrade something like either the cranks, the forks, or the bars. The way this bike is designed is it's not designed to last you forever, and you should know that going into it if you're about to buy it. This bike is low quality, parts are gonna bend, parts are gonna break, especially if you're using it for what it's intended for, which is cool stuff. You know, if you're doing cool stuff with it, bad stuff's gonna happen. That's just how it goes on a $400 bike, all right? And I wanna throw it out there that this bike is designed so that when you break something, you can just upgrade it. I had this experience, you're gonna have this experience. You ride the bike and then you come home, your handlebars are bent, and you're like, oh man, buy new handlebars. Your forks are bent, buy new forks. Your cranks are bent, your pedals break, like whatever. You just upgrade it with better parts overall. And so over 6 months, over 8 months, as things start to break and as you cause damage to the bike, you're replacing those parts with higher quality upgrades so that eventually you've got a fully custom bike. Is it the perfect way to go? I mean, if you can afford a fully custom bike, go that route, but it's pretty hard to come up with, you know, $1,200, $1,500 to do that. And so this is an alternative option, and the bike is totally designed for that. And I want you to expect things to bend and things to break on this bike if you're actually riding. Okay, so I just want to share some final thoughts and honestly give you the thing here. Is this bike worth it? I'm gonna say no. For $430, you're very close to something like the King Gap or even something like the Fly Proton. There are other bikes that you can check out and spend just a little bit more money to buy and get something much higher quality. And ultimately that should be the goal. If one of the colors is the right size for you and you really like that color and you really want to go that route, or you love Brett Silva and you love Sunday and you just want to support Sunday, like that's a different story. But if we're looking at just value and spending your hard-earned money on a bike and getting you the best value, the Sunday Primer isn't it. It's not a very high value bike. It's expensive and it doesn't come with very high quality stuff. You can buy a better quality bike by spending just a little bit more money. If you're wondering what bike that is, it's best to fill out a free bike recommendation request. There's a link up here on the screen. You can request a bike recommendation. I'll look at the information about you, your budget, your height, your skill level, and then I'm gonna find 3 bikes that are perfect for you and help you make that decision. Because I don't want you getting on the Primer and then being like, oh man, this bike's too small, I hate it, this part broke. Like, I wanna help you get the perfect bike. And for most people, the Primer is just not gonna be it unless you are a small rider and you need that 20.00 inch top tube. If you're 5 foot to 5'3", this is one of the better options that you can get in a 20.00 inch top tube. Just make sure you get that orange colorway because that's the color that comes with that frame size that you need. I would recommend the Primer for the small guy, the new guy, but that's it. If you're more serious, you're bigger, stay away from the Primer and get something higher quality by spending a little bit more money. Okay, so that is the Sunday Primer. Let me know in the comments which bike I should review next. And up here on the screen is some cool videos. If you want to check out the other reviews on all of Sunday's bike line, click this link here. And if you want to check out my most recent video, YouTube thinks you're going to like this one, that is also up on the screen. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.